GLP-1 medications can be a fantastic tool to aid on your weight loss and fat loss journey. But something that we see all the time is people lose that weight really, really fast, and a lot of muscle goes right along with it. So today what we're going to be talking about is the impact GLPs have on your fat loss, but how we can retain as much muscle tissue as possible, if not maybe gain a little bit. So we're going to run through the supplements that you can take to help and just a little bit of tips and tricks to help you mitigate that muscle loss. At All Star Nutrition, we see people who take GLPs every single day. We also have an InBody machine that's always free to use to help track that muscle growth and fat loss, or really however direction it's going. That InBody is always free no matter what location you are at. Quick disclaimer, this is not medical advice. Always listen and follow your prescriber first. These are just going to be the common strategies, the common supplement and nutrition strategies that make the biggest difference when you're taking GLPs. What GLPs do is suppress your appetite, right? So you naturally eat less, which is how they work and how you lose the weight. But what happens is when your protein intake and your consumption gets too low, it doesn't just pull from fatty tissue, it's going to pull from your lean muscle mass as well. If your goal is to look better, feel better, all the good things of being a healthy individual, muscle retention is the name of the game. Now you might be wondering, okay, well it's like, how do I know if I'm losing muscle or if I'm losing body fat? Well, one, like I said in the beginning, use an InBody to track your progress. But some other symptoms that you would notice is losing strength and power output in the gym very quickly. Losing more than like 3 or 4 pounds a week. That's when your body's digging into lean tissue for energy. Workouts feel sluggish even with really good sleep. And your weight is low, but you feel softer or more flat. Now, how can we retain as much muscle as possible, if not gain a little bit, while on GLPs? Number one, protein is a non-negotiable. You need to keep your protein intake as high as possible. Lift weights. Taking GLPs and just sitting around is when you are going to lose the most muscle mass. So at least 2 days a week, but if I could have my pick, I'd tell you to go at least 3 or 4. Any strength training or resistance training you can do is going to help. Lastly is creatine. Creatine is a supplement that is primarily derived from red meat. It is the best supplement we believe anyone can take. It is fantastic for building new muscle tissue, repairing what's damaged. It helps with gut health, memory, cognitive function, overall feeling, energy. It all gets improved when you supplement creatine. It's the most studied product on the market. Generally speaking, what we at All Star like to recommend for our clients and our customers is bare minimum 75% of your weight in grams of protein daily. Now, that's more so when you are on GLPs. If I could convince you to get 80% to 100% of your weight, that'd be even better. But I understand when your appetite is lower, it's very hard. Your calories are restricted. When your calories are restricted, so is your protein, right? It just makes sense. The best ways to get your protein in, obviously you have lean meats, but in smaller portions. If you can space it out and do, 3, 4, or 5 smaller meals, more spaced out, that sounds fantastic. And that's a great way to get more protein in. You have eggs. In an egg, all the fat is in the yolk and the egg white has all the protein in it. So if you're a big fan of scrambled eggs or anything like that, you can always just buy a carton of egg whites, throw it up on in there. You're only adding protein. It's good calories, and it's generally very light on the stomach as well. Obviously, protein powders. This is why protein is so heavily supplemented, is because it's hard to eat your body weight or one of those percentages in grams of protein every single day. So getting in a 20 to 25 calorie protein shake once or twice a day is a fantastic option to get in few calories, but also high protein. Meal replacements are also an option. Greek yogurt is a fantastic source of protein, but always remember, something is better than nothing. Half a shake is better than no shake at all. When talking about the strength training, like I said, ideally 2 to 4 days a week minimum, but at least 2. You want to make sure that you are stimulating growth. When I say resistance training, that means weights. It doesn't mean cardio, but it means training your muscles to grow. You get stronger and you build muscle tissue when that damaged tissue rebuilds, not when you tear it down. So you don't need to completely destroy your body at first. You just get in there, show up, build a consistent routine on what makes sense for you. Don't nosedive into it. Tell yourself you're going to go 6 days a week, do it for a week or two, and then fall off and then get discouraged and don't go back. Start slow and work your way up. If you can go 3 days a week after work because you got to pick up the kids in a couple the other 2 days and you take weekends for your family, that's fantastic. That's awesome. You don't need to train like a bodybuilder. That's not what the goal is. The goal is to better yourself every single day, and you do that through resistance training as much as you possibly can without overtraining. So start small, work your way up. Again, something is better than nothing. All right, so at this point in the video, you're like, Gabe, I already work out. I already have a high protein intake. I already take creatine, and I still feel off. If you're on GLPs and you still feel off, this is another reason it could be. It all comes from lowering your intake of calories and lowering your intake of food. Not only are you eating less protein, but you're also getting in less sodium, less minerals. Your fruits and greens intake isn't as high. You might not even be drinking as much water. Might not be getting in any fiber. You might be feeling really constipated. Any of those reasons, any of those symptoms, I should say, is a result not because of lack of effort, but just because your body needs more nutrients than what you're giving it. This is truthfully speaking where supplements come in. What we need to really focus on is water daily. At least half your body weight in ounces is a fantastic benchmark to hit. Electrolytes are huge. That is going to help give you your sodium and those other minerals. A multivitamin, because it's very hard to eat all your micronutrients through just food. That's why it's a thing. And if you're in the northern states with us, then you know that we need vitamin D because we only get that for like 3 months out of the year, which is super fun, by the way. Greens powders, if you lack vegetables. You have fiber. Introduce it slowly because you don't need as much fiber if you're eating less calories, so just introduce it slowly. Magnesium glycinate is fantastic for bone health, bone density. It helps with muscle recovery. But taking magnesium glycinate specifically at night to help with sleep helps you fall asleep. You wake up feeling a lot more rested. That is another fantastic mineral you can add into the regimen. But electrolytes, greens powders, vitamins, and fiber are a fantastic starting point just to make sure that you get in the nutrients your body needs on a day-to-day basis. So if you're going to take the advice that I'm giving you guys today and you want to put it into action, put it to work, and see if I know what I'm talking about or not, the best way that you can track it is through the use of the InBody. Because truthfully speaking, we don't really look at weight all that much. We care about what your weight is made up of. Water, body fat, muscle. Using a machine and a tool like the InBody to really just track what's actually happening while you're taking the GLP, while you're taking these other vitamins and supplements is going to be huge. We can see if the weight goes down, if that weight was actually muscle or if it was body fat. And what a lot of customers notice is if they take GLP with none of these other micronutrients, a large chunk of that weight is solely muscle tissue and water. They retain a lot of fat. You need to give your body nutrients to fuel it. You have a number called your basal metabolic rate. That is the amount of calories that you burn if you are in a complete coma, complete rest. And what we see daily is people who eat less than that number while on a GLP are more prone to losing that muscle tissue. The higher muscle you have, the higher your BMR is going to be. The reason is because your muscle needs that food to fuel itself. And if you don't give it to it, it's going to just use itself as an energy source, in simple terms. While the weight goes down, we want the muscle to stay as steady as possible. Now, yes, you're not going to retain 100%. If you lose 100 pounds, you're not going to retain all the muscle you had before. Some loss is normal. But we want to we want to see that the muscle isn't dramatically dropping down. We want that weight that comes off to be body fat. So if you're on a GLP-1 and you want the simplest plan, protein first, exercise 2 to 4 times a week, electrolytes and digestion support daily, and creatine if you are strength training and training. If you want a free personalized plan, that is what we do here at All Star. Come into any All Star location that's closest to you, and we can get your protein target figured out, your water target. We can get a full personalized plan done. We can run through a day of eating and fill in any missing gaps. But to go along with that, we will give you the minimum supplement stack necessary to make sure that you are feeling good. But not only feeling good, but seeing significant progress with how your clothes are fitting, with how the scale's moving, all the above. That is what we're here to do. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm excited to keep seeing you guys. This is going to be a blast. If there's any questions, please don't hesitate. Put them down below in the comments. Reach out, email us. Anything we can do to help, I'm all ears. Thank you all so very much. Have a fantastic rest of your day.